Hi, I'm Borkaland. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. And yeah, this head really suits me. And you know why? Because remember when I said that, oh, we can just build the gold farm here and everything is gonna be fine? Well, yeah, I've completely and totally forgot about one thing. And it is that you need spawn proofing below a gold farm. So I did some checking, and out of all the places I could have picked, this is probably absolutely and completely the worst one. This requires 40 to 45,000 blocks to be spawn proofed. For reference, when I did the Wither Skeleton farm in somewhere in the Nether, that required 12,000. This place requires 45,000 blocks of spawn proofing. That's just completely nuts. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, this is the second time I record this intro. Yes, that's second reason to have this hat, because previous time my microphone didn't work. I thought it did, everything seemed fine, but it didn't, and we discovered when I started a stream after the previous episode came out. And yeah, usually I record these intros before the stream. Now I did have to do it after the stream. And yeah, so on stream I actually found a better place for a gold farm. It's actually not far. It's just here. And the difference in spawn proofing that is necessary between this place and that place, 45,000 blocks, maybe 40,000 to 45,000 blocks. This place, 4,000 blocks. That's 10 times more spawn proofing necessary there than here. And the reason for this is that there is a large lava lake under here, so it wasn't too hard to spawn proof everything. We did most of it on the stream. I did the rest just a couple of hours ago, and now it's time to build a gold farm. Like I have mentioned before, my Discord, we have started a creative server, and I designed it over there, so if you maybe want some insight into earlier stages of designs and maybe even help out a little bit, because a few people helped me out, and I'm gonna tell you later when we build the relevant parts who had great ideas, then join the Discord, come to the creative server. We will definitely design even more things there. But now it's time to build this thing, because this is the Christmas Day episode. I think this episode comes out on Christmas Day. No, I'm not slacking off. I'm probably even gonna stream after this episode, as usual. I'll explain later. But first, let's build the gold farm, because it is busy days. This will probably be a relatively short episode because of Christmas and everything going on around this. But at least we need the gold farm. Let's go. You know what? I need to put this thing on again. Because I just started devising a new plan, trying to figure out, oh, how will I stop the zombified piglins dropping on me when I'm building this, and they keep spawning here on my shulker boxes, of course, because I didn't spawn-proof my shulker boxes. And I had piglins here attacking me. The zombified piglins are not attacking me, but they're annoying and noisy. And I tried to, I need to block things here. I need to spawn-proof my shulker boxes. What am I doing? I have a mob switch. Just use the mob switch. What? Thinking is very hard recently, it seems. And click. And now I don't need that head anymore. Simple. This is why I built this thing. It might be hard to get used to having certain machinery, but still, it's... I'm almost embarrassed by how many just dumb mistakes I keep doing recently. And speaking of that, I probably need more rockets, because I am using a lot of rockets when building this. Although, not everything is bad. This was actually a good idea. This is how I need to place the trapdoors here, all the way up to pretty much build limit. It's not exactly build limit, but I will remove the ones that I don't need later, and I had a good idea for how to build this thing, at least. So it's not always stupidity. Ooh, did I misplace that one? No, I didn't. Another good idea when building something with lots and lots and lots of magma blocks, Frostwalker. I heard that in the past. I have actually never tried it, but yeah, works great. I can walk around here and I'm not taking damage, which is actually a huge relief. Because, yeah, there's many of these platforms. Like, you see that tower above me? Every 3 blocks there is a platform like this. And the mandatory shot of placing the last block of a very large build. Click! Yeah, of course it's staged. Come on. I have already actually tested this thing, but yeah, let's look at this thing in its full enormous glory. So just for reference, this is my old gold farm. Oh, I can actually land up here and we'll have a good view. And yes, my chests turned into these things, so you know when I'm recording this. That's a good reference. Ta-da! It is a farm. So some of you, or maybe even most of you, will recognize at least this part. This part is Gnembon spawning platforms for his gold farm. And I use them because, well, I can't do any better. I tried, and I can't. This is maybe even possibly the optimal thing. And yes, as you can see here, there are some zombified piglins in here, even though the mob switch is on, and that is because they probably picked up some items. Let me clean them up. This farm has a few problems that we definitely have to solve, which the old one didn't have. And yeah, I'll show you when this thing is running and when we have some piglins. But what do we have here? Of course, we do have a Piston feed tape loot system because I am a madman. And yes, there is some loot here because the whole loot system is turned off. And also, the glorious thing I discovered with that thing, and I had it here as well, a floor. Yes, we actually built a floor first. That's a first for me. Well, second, because I already built a floor there too. 2 things that we are looting. Heads and gold. Gold ingots into a shulker loader. Oh, I forgot a barrel here. Do I have a barrel? Let's put down this thing. I might have a barrel here. I might have a barrel here. I have a barrel here. So let's... Why is this a present and this is not a present? Who designed that? Shulker boxes are much more of a present than an ender chest. Just saying. I think it's a bug. Right, bam, now we have a fully functioning loot system. And yeah, that's the only 2 things. This thing here, if we look up here, there are 2 auto crafters, which are just crafting all the gold nuggets into gold ingots, and we're loading the shulker box loader. Yes, we have 5 filters that are picking up gold, 4 for gold nuggets, and those are double speed filters. And we have 1 gold ingot filter because this farm is for looting only. I am no longer bothering with a fully AFK mode because I can just, well, I can AFK with my second account with an auto clicker. There is no passive mode in here. This is all just manual farm with looting. Let's turn off the mob switch and see how this works. Now this is freaky. Where is my storage system? What happened here? Yes, I know what happened here, but this still looks very, very, very weird. Why, it's all green. Well, let's go back to the nether. It looks more familiar. Alrighty then, this looks much better now, without the mob switch on. And as you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble hitting them because I'm standing far away, because there is a chest in the way, and yes, this has to be a chest in the way. And yeah, let me summon my second account and have him hit them, and I will explain why we're doing it in such a weird way. And of course, I forgot one very important component in the farm. It was the beacon. But now we have the beacon with regeneration, which is the important part, because I keep forgetting to give my second account some food. And yes, he needs to have food. Now, this might be a little bit complicated. I need to stand about here so I don't spawn anything else and don't prevent the spawns up there. I will try to get as far away as possible to get the noise down. And now we're gonna use a feature that is free cam in the Tweakaroo mod. Yes, I left my head and now we can look at this thing. Here is my second account, auto-clicking away. We need to stand a little bit far away from the piglins because, well, and this is something we spent quite a lot of time in my creative test world trying to figure out this exact mechanism, because the problem we're dealing with is that these experience orbs, if we stand too close, because there is a stair here that is catching the experience orbs, if we stand too close to them, the experience orbs gather under the stair and we can pick them up, but we cannot pick them up fast enough. This farm is too fast for the experience to be picked up by the player, which means that the experience orbs will gather here, build up, and pretty much lag out the server. So we need to figure out a way to make the experience orb pass under here, and if they are not picked up by the player, get destroyed by the cactus. And yeah, the chest down there is the best solution we have found this far. Maybe there are better ones, and I think someone already told me on Discord that there is a better solution. I'm gonna look at it and maybe use that, but right now I'm using a chest. But that's just one block that I need to switch out. Now, let's look at the zombified piglins. What's going on here? Normally in a farm like this, you would expect a bunch of hoppers and hopper minecarts under here, picking up the loot and then shooting it out with droppers to some loot system below. Well, I wanted to try something else. I think that those kinds of loot systems have a fundamental limitation that you can't really make them too big. And yeah, this farm is not too efficient, so hoppers and hopper minecarts would work just fine, but I wanted to try something new. And I've been experimenting with various different ideas for how to make a looting farm that picks up the loot where you can get the experience without hoppers underneath. And this is actually a relatively hard problem, it turns out. And my first few attempts were by slowing the zombified piglins down by some hay bales extended by pistons up here, and then have a staging system where I would retract these pistons and then extend some pistons down below here, or maybe have trapdoors or stuff like that. And it was kind of working, but it was very hard to get it right, and my rates in this farm were very much not good. The original that this is based on, which is Gnembon's farm, I will definitely link you in the description to it, because it explains quite a lot of things, why the platforms look like this, why we have the glass around here, why there is a little notch here in all these platforms, which is actually really funny but relevant, why there are grindstones here, because they are also relevant, how the eggs work and the distances between eggs. All this Gnembon explains much better than I can, because he probably spent many months on designing this thing. I just wanted to change out the loot system. I will be the first one to admit that it is probably a worse loot system. Yes, I'm free camming my own face now just to pretend to talk into the camera. Hello. But I wanted to give it a go, and I'm getting roughly the same rates as his farm is getting, so I think it's good enough. And I'm not getting too much buildup of XP. Yes, some of the XP is falling down into the loot system. We'll get into that. I haven't placed the required lava to destroy the XP down here, so this farm might lag out in a few minutes. But it's kind of fine right now. So what's going on here is that the zombified piglins are landing on hay bales, and this is very necessary because, as you can see, this farm is enormous, so something has to break their fall, and it's hay bales. And above we have pistons with hay bales that extend relatively rarely, and this is very important because I have found out, and I don't know if I was hallucinating or if I misunderstood something, but it appears that blocks that are being moved, even if they are hay bales or honey, still count for full fall damage. And I believe that there is this magical block that blocks turn into when they are being moved that stops being the block it actually is when it's being moved by a piston. It's very technical, don't really worry about it if you don't know what I'm talking about. But basically, moving blocks seems to give them full fall damage, and I was losing a lot of zombified piglins when I was moving this faster. Now this is moving relatively slowly, but not too slow, and the reason why it shouldn't move too slow is that I don't want to push too much loot into the loot system at the same time. And the loot system, as you can see, is a piston feed tape. Of course it's a piston feed tape. This is me, look at me. Hi, I am piston feed tape. How you doing? So the piston feed tape just moves the loot over, filters, it gets picked up, and we're done. There is some leakage here, and I haven't been able to find it. I need to debug this, because this is not nice. It's not much, but there is. I don't like leakage at all. So what's going on here? Nuggets, nuggets, ingots, nuggets, nuggets, heads. And the 4 nuggets are double speed filters, as you can see, because the hoppers are pointing straight down. And those double speed filters feed everything into these droppers. And this is the non-standard part on my server, where I have enabled auto-crafting if you're new to this channel. The droppers are auto-crafting ingots through one crafting table, which is very possible. But for that, and yeah, I tried to avoid a hopper minecart in this farm, but I couldn't. I need a hopper minecart to pick up the ingots from the crafting table. There is a technical reason for this, don't worry about it too much. And yeah, we're auto-crafting ingots into shulker box loader, and that's it, we collect heads. Everything else is going here, and oops, I just noticed that I completely forgot the lava. There is supposed to be lava here, there isn't, and yeah, we're gonna lag out the server in a second, so I'm gonna stop this explanation and get some lava. Be right back. Now the first 4 places where I need to add lava is here, then another lava bucket up here, close this off so I don't fall in, and the same thing goes here. And the reason for this lava here is it's not actually destroying the items. Maybe it destroys a few of the items, but that's fine, because everything that comes to this part of the loot system is already garbage. Or, well, maybe we'll get a few nuggets, but that doesn't really matter, it's not too much. But the lava in here is important because it will destroy the XP orbs. Don't know why it works that way, that normal items don't get destroyed but the XP orbs do. Not all of them, that's why I need so much lava. But most of the XP orbs get destroyed and we won't get any buildup in this farm even if a lot of XP is leaking. And most of the XP is just going into the cactus, so we're kind of fine with that. Alright, and the last bucket of lava should go here. Let's get rid of that. Take a bucket of lava and in the middle-ish. Doesn't really matter where. I had to remove this dropper and let's see if I can place it. Oh, this is awkward. Placing blocks where you have to press shift on a scaffolding is a nightmare. Is it pointing down? It is pointing down. Awesome. So the lava is now destroying all the overflow items, and trust me, there is a lot of overflow items. I think the amount of nuggets is around 50,000 and it's generally the same amount of other items than nuggets. So we're somewhere between 90 and 100,000 items per hour in this farm, which is why I need 4 double speed droppers with, yes, double speed hopper lines feeding into them, just to get rid of all the junk. Each of these should be able to destroy about 18,000 items per hour, and all 4 should be able to destroy 72,000 items per hour. And yes, that is necessary. All 4 are running most of the time when I've been testing this, and even here when I've been testing it manually. So this thing is incredibly productive. The amount of gold ingots I'm getting per hour is 5,500, which adds up to, and oh, now I have to think. Multiply that by 9, so it's definitely more than, it's about 50,000 gold nuggets per hour, like I said earlier. Let's get our second account back and have a look at this farm again, now with a proper loot system. And right, where were we? Ah yes, we were explaining the loot system, now with lava. So the problem is that since I'm not extending the hay bales very often, and the hay bales, what they do is to push the loot down and down here. And of course also help the XP a little bit to get destroyed by the cactus and picked up by the player at the same time. But the loot lands here on a piston feed tape, standard. Don't worry about this, they will get picked up eventually, even though this kinda looks bad. There we go, it fell down, I knew it would happen. There are some XP orbs here, most of them will get destroyed by the lava, but that only happens when there is enough of them. I'm not really sure I understand the mechanics of how the XP orbs get destroyed, but it seems to work fine, and if it doesn't, I will replace this with the same system I have in the Wither Skeleton farm, where I have soul sand instead of the slabs, because I could use either slabs or soul sand for the loot, that shouldn't matter, but I think the soul sand was slightly better at destroying the XP. But there is not much XP down here, so I think we're fine. And yeah, we're moving the loot over the filters pick it up, except the garbage, which gets destroyed here by the droppers into lava. It's working great. It's a fantastic design. And by the way, this part here, before we figured out this mechanism on my creative server, I was doing all kinds of crazy things with tripwires and stuff like that. And then just during the stream, when we started designing this farm, Boyen from my Discord and creative server just said, why not just push the loot? And we started experimenting with that. Quite a few people had some ideas that we tested. But yeah, I decided to go with just the basic idea that he mentioned and then develop my own solution, even though I'm pretty sure some of the other solutions that the people on the creative server had were better. I'm that kind of person. Like, I want to do as much as possible on myself. I want to figure it out myself, and I'm not as worried about having the most optimal farm as to have a design that I understand and where I understand all of the parts and have done them myself. And that's part of the learning experience. I really want to learn how to do this properly, so as much as possible I went for something I could design myself. But yeah, the spawning platforms, unfortunately, I could not do much better than Gnembon. I could not do any better than Gnembon. I couldn't even get half of the performance of this. This is absolutely awesome. Right, after a few hours of running this, and I must admit I was completely AFK, I come back and I have found that there are bugs. And the bugs are that sometimes when the loot falls down, it kind of glitches through something here, I'm actually not exactly sure, and it falls into these hoppers, which then poisons the crafting system. And weird things happen. I need to figure out exactly what's going on. Why is it this at full power right now? I just removed lots of swords and rotten flesh from these hoppers and the crafting system, and it was just freaking out. Like the swords here. I need to restart this and figure out what's going on. I've been destroying... Now we're crafting. Okay, and how about this one? Yeah, rotten flesh. And more rotten flesh. So much rotten flesh. Yeah, there we go. More rotten flesh and swords in here. Yeah, there's some garbage leaking in, and it makes the system completely freak out. And I need to remove all of the nuggets, or at least more than one, because otherwise the comparator doesn't react fast enough. Okay, now we're crafting again. Can I cover this one? No. And it's because that hopper minecart is there, and I don't really dare to push it in, because then we'll end up in these hoppers. Well, that might be... No, I don't want to suck loot out of this hopper, so no, I can't allow that. This has to be like this. I will at least cover it up like that, so it's at least partially covered. Hopefully this will help, because unfortunately I only have 2 shulker boxes of gold ingots, and after that garbage fell into the loot system. That's a bit unfortunate. And there is some leakage here, but like I've been running this for, no, I don't know, I've been running it for this many heads, whatever that means, and no other problems. So it seems relatively stable. Okay, let's run this for a few more hours and see what happens. But overall it has been stable. There is no huge buildup of experience. I see occasional orbs here and there, but nothing too awful. The same thing here. It looks like the orbs are just flying into my second account, and those that don't get picked up get destroyed by the cactus, so that is working great. There's no buildup of piglins, which I was afraid of, but nothing bad happening there either. No loose zombified piglins in the area, or piglins for that matter, which I had when I built that one, so that seems to be a good success. Awesome. Now there is another thing I need to do in my base before I come back here and see how this behaves, and this is just a minor thing that has nothing to do with this thing. And it has to do with a potential improvement for my chunk loaders. So, like I was saying, I might have a little bit of a problem of zombified piglins spawning in the portal. Usually it shouldn't be too much of an issue because they will chase the turtle egg and nothing bad should happen. But there is potential if two of them spawn too close to each other or something like that, or they don't chase the egg fast enough and they don't fall down or something like that, they could still cause issues for the minecarts. So I was told that if I put armor stands in the frames of the portal, nothing should spawn in there, but I suspect this will not work. Yeah, and it was going through the portal like I suspected, but that means that if I place the armor stand on the other side... Yeah, now I have an armor stand here, but wait. How do I break armor stands? Like that. So if I place the armor stands like this, repair this, and now I light the portal, they should go to the other side, but that means that... Will they stay on the other side? Yes, they will. It went through, and it came back, and it didn't cause any issues. Oh, that's good. I think I can at least get the book I have that I used for making my magical armor stands for the drowned farm in the tunnel, and I can make them at least not obey gravity, and that should probably improve them. So according to legend, not legend, but according to what people say, that should make them cause a little bit less lag, which should be definitely noticeable if you're using more of them. So let me give that a try. I think this was the book. Yeah. So it should work something like this. Check target. It was that one. Good. Styles? Apply gravity. No. Gravity is turned off. And utilities lock. That's it. And now the same thing with this one. Check target. That one. And styles. Apply gravity. No. And utilities lock. That should be it. And now I'm gonna do that with the other chunk loader and see if anything happens. Now, of course, I won't be able to see if it works unless I wait a few weeks and can't find a zombified piglin in the chunk loader. Although I haven't seen one in this one ever. So I'm not sure. Maybe they are rare enough that it doesn't matter, but in case they are not rare, let's do this. At least it doesn't make anything worse, and that is good enough sometimes. Try many things, one of them will work. But that's all we have time for today, and yeah, I am wearing this because it's the closest thing I have to a Santa hat. This was even worse. this doesn't work. Nah, okay, let's do it like this. Yeah, that should be it for today. It's kind of weird. I completely forgot until a few days ago that this episode would come out on Christmas. I was not planning for that, and like you see, I have nothing prepared other than the silly chests, which I didn't do. I thought in the last second that maybe, just maybe, I could build a giant Santa hat on this thing, but I realized that building this sphere took me, well, couple of months at least. I don't even remember. It was a long time. I will have to check. Now I'm actually curious how long time it took me to build this sphere. But yeah, so building a Santa hat on top of this thing would be equally much. I'm almost happy that this year, like because of the plague, I'm staying at home and can do a video for you. Which means, by the way, that I will be streaming today when this episode comes out, so Friday 25th of December. At 7 o'clock in the evening UTC, 8 o'clock in the evening Central European Time. Ooh, I switched it up. Have you noticed? It will be on twitch.tv/Borkon_live, and we're gonna do something fun. I haven't figured out what we're gonna do yet, but we'll figure something out. And if not, we can just sit down and chat and see what happens. I hope to see you there, and if not, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching! Bye! I should have thrown gold. Wait. I have gold. Let's try that again. Thanks for watching! Bye!